What's up, you guys? I'm Dan. This is Frugal Not Cheap. Today, let's see how much I overspent in 2022. So every year I like to go and update how all my investments did. Also take a look at how all my spending went for the last year. See if my budget is still realistic, if I need to tweak it, and then also if I need to tweak my behavior to match that budget, which is probably more important, right? What's a budget if you're not willing to try to stick to it or to make changes to make it happen, right? That's the whole idea. So I've got here my spending from last year all totaled up. I've also got my spending from 2021 to compare, and then also how that all compares to my budget. So let's take a look here. First off, I guess we'll just look at the totals. So I spent a total of $38,636 last year. So that is a lot. That's that's way more than I ever used to spend before I moved out here to the Dallas, Texas area. For a long time, my budget was always between $21,000, $22,000 to maybe $25,000 or $26,000 or so. Of course, the major upgrade has been rent. So I spent a total of $19,257 in rent last year. That's up a heck of a lot compared to where it used to be. So rent now is $1,800 a month roughly, including my garage, whereas before it was only about $850, $875 back in New Hampshire. So that's a major driver right there. But I'm incredibly happy with this place. I've got an apartment tour in an old video, and anyway, yeah, just really enjoy this place a lot. So I think that's worth it. I can afford it right now. I'm very fortunate for that. At the same time, if circumstances became tougher and I needed to downsize, then I'm perfectly capable of doing that still. So that's the major one. If we take out rent, I spent a total of $19,379. Again, that's about what my total budget, including rent, used to be in the past, and it's way more than my fire budget in Bangkok, for instance. You can see about my geographical arbitrage in this video over here. So a lot of things went up. Some of these hopefully are going to be irregular, kind of one-time expenses. So let's kind of see where I went way over budget. And we'll just go in alphabetical order because that's how I have them over here. So the first one, I spent $2,714 on my car. Unfortunately, I had two issues there were two things I wanted to do in 2022. First off, at one point I was thinking of going on a longer road trip, and I noticed my tires were getting a little bald, so I had to get new tires. Obviously, that's going to be fairly expensive. It was over $1,200 or something like that for the set of four 19-inch tires for the Model S. I got Michelin Primacy MXM4s, great tires, the same ones I used to have on my Acura. Anyway, on top of that, late in the year, I had a little bit of suspension noise. There's this little squeak that was happening from the passenger front wheel arch. And we found out that a ball joint was going bad. I'm not sure if they did the cheapest repair to get that done, but anyway, they replaced two links on the suspension. The parts plus the labor and everything was about $900 in the end. So that added up, and then plus other little things here and there, we end up with the $2,714, which is way beyond my budget of $1,200, which should on average cover things like the tires will last some years. Hopefully I won't have any other major issues like the suspension, but obviously one of the dangers when you buy an expensive car used is that the repairs will be more expensive than had you bought a Toyota Corolla or something like that. So it comes with the territory, right? Cadillac problems, or Tesla problems, you might say. Next, we've got cable and satellite. This is basically streaming subscriptions. I don't subscribe to cable. So we're talking about like Netflix, Amazon Prime, yada. I tend to only run, or HBO Max, I tend to only run one at a time. And I ran Netflix for the most time. And so that was under budget. My budget was $300, and again, I spent $238. So that was pretty great. My actual average was about $20 a month, and that was well below well below my budget. And actually right now I have 0 subscriptions. I canceled it all. I'm just watching YouTube. I might get something like once a quarter or something like that when I'm really itching. But right now I'm kind of, I'm just not seeing a lot of great shows out there that I want to watch, and there's really, really great content here on YouTube. All right, YouTube did not pay me for that. I wish they would, but yeah, we're still not monetized. Next we've got clothing and shoes. I spent $130 in clothing. That was pretty close to my budget of $120, so I am happy with that. Then we've got charitable giving. I was at $495. My budget's $432, so that's right around my budget. I'm not going to feel bad about that. Grateful that I'm able to contribute that way. Let's see, on dating here, I spent around $800. My budget, I'm surprised actually, I didn't really do the math, but obviously if I budget $100 a month to do that, that's $1,200 a year. So I was way under budget on that. I was dating a lot more early on in the year. Things kind of slowed down for the last quarter or so. We'll see if things pick back up next year. But anyway, well under budget there, and so that's just fine. I mean, though I would have been okay going on more dates and spending more. Then electronics, I did spend a bit on God, I don't even remember what I bought. But anyway, I spent $391 on electronics. What the heck did I buy? Some of this is probably like software subscriptions. Like I got Google One, and I got rid of what was it called? The Microsoft 365 subscription. I switched from one to the other. And then I think I bought some stuff for my computer. I don't really remember. But anyway, that one definitely over budget. Didn't really have a budget for that. In a couple of years, I'm probably going to buy a gaming laptop for travel so that I can both edit videos and play video games. More for... I haven't been playing any video games in a while. Not in a few months anyway. But I'll probably get interested in it again in the future. And either way, I want a good graphics card so I can edit these YouTube videos while I'm on the go. So I'll be looking for a laptop that's going to be able to handle that as well. So that's probably going to be a purchase in 2024 though. So I'll be looking at laptops that come out this year and then seeing what's going to be a good used or refurbished deal probably in 2024. We'll see. All right, next we've got entertainment. And here I went way over. My budget... was really small at like $120, which, you know, that's kind of too low. Is that right? Let's take a look at this other tab over here. Yeah, I guess I only budgeted $10 a month, which is mostly just for like for buying music. So I like to buy my music and actually own it and be able to listen to it when I'm not subscribed to anything. And then I put it on a USB drive and it sounds great in my car. So yeah, I bought a lot of music actually this year, but most of it is actually more fun stuff. So I had a lot of guests this year, and it was great that I was able to go out and do fun stuff with them. Like, so early last year, I got to go to the opera with my buddy Jay when he came out to visit. I got a video of kind of like what I spend in a week, but that week happened to be when he was visiting, so I checked that out. We had a lot of fun. It was a good time, and I don't know. Yeah, I was blessed to have more visitors than that. And just a really good year. And so yeah, I spent almost $1,200 in entertainment last year, but totally worth it. So I'm okay with having gone over budget by about $1,000 there. That's fine. Groceries, we did well. So groceries, my budget was $3,500. I spent $3,500, and my budget was $3,600. So I was pretty much on the money. So I'm spending an average of $293 a month. That is way up from what I used to spend. Inflation is a big part of that. Also the food choices that I'm making, right? I'm getting more expensive food items. And you know, to some degree, I think that's all right. I'd like to cut that down a little bit. Maybe if I can get to around $250 this year, that'd be great. I've been going back to Aldi, and yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll be able to do that. So far so good. And actually, I found that their salmon, I buy their Atlantic salmon fillets, cut them up into portions, then freeze the portions I'm not going to eat right away. Work great, and the quality is way better than those frozen fillets that you get in the package. They're totally different. All right, so that's on groceries. Did pretty well there. Unfortunately, I had a lot of healthcare stuff going on. This includes dental, so I've got the dental plan for like $300 a year. That's really what my budget is set at. But unfortunately, I had some other stuff going on in 2022, so I spent a total of $1,161, which is more than I thought, more than I remembered. So we went $861 over budget on this healthcare stuff. But fingers crossed, 2023 is going to be a lot better on that front. Then I spent a little bit on home improvement, $68, under my budget of $120, so that was good. Yeah, just random stuff around the apartment, right? Nothing special. Home maintenance, $129 I spent against the budget of $240, so we did well again there. So combined on home stuff, we went $162 under budget, so that was good. Place is set up. I'm kind of minimalist anyway, so really happy with how things are here. Insurance, I don't know about you, but yeah, my car insurance went up a lot. I only had to pay for part of that in the 2022 period, but for 2023 it's going to be more. Anyway, in 2022 I spent $1,887 on insurance. That's under my budget of $1,980 because that budget has been updated to be what I'll pay this year probably. Hopefully nothing will go up too much more. I've got other things coming up. So what we've got there is the car insurance. For Natalia, my Tesla. That's the bulk of it. That's quite expensive. Then I also have renter's insurance and an umbrella policy as well. In case people go crazy after an accident or something like that, just having that additional coverage is probably a good idea. Then for internet, it says I spent $60, but that's just because at the time I hadn't been reimbursed yet from my employer. So actually I spent $0 because yeah, it's all reimbursed by the employer, which is pretty awesome. Next, personal care. Man, we came in really spot on here. I spent $117 and my budget was $120. So yeah, spot on there. No need to change that. Pets and pet care. So you'll see my budget now is $0 because unfortunately Max is no longer with us. Expenses for him were a little higher last year because of the medical problems and then having to say goodbye to him. So that was $2,670, and moving forward, that's not going to be part of the budget. People have asked me if I'm going to get another dog anytime soon, and I'm not. No plans to do that at the moment, especially with the whole geographical arbitrage possibility in the future. I'm going to be moving to Bangkok. It's just not responsible to be getting a dog at this time. And, I miss him a lot, but yeah, God, he was amazing. But I am enjoying a little bit the increased flexibility of not having to worry about, boarding him or being able to be out of the house, not having to get back within a certain amount of time, to take care. So that's nice having a little bit more freedom in that way. If I could have it the other way, I wouldn't trade. But this is where we are, and there is a silver lining, I suppose. Tax preparation, $0. That should be $0 again here. I'll be doing my taxes with Free Tax USA. Not sponsored, just great software. Use that. Have been using that for years now. Then on my telephone, I spent $417 for the year. So that's an average of $35 a month. And so that is for Google Fi. Referral link down below in the description. But this is only for someone who's on Wi-Fi all the time, because you do pay per gigabyte on data unless you want to get the unlimited plan at $60 a month, which at that point there's really no point, because once you get to a certain amount of usage they cap you anyway. So yeah, whatever. The reason I have this plan is because it's really good for traveling. So for the same price, this $35 or so, it's actually more like, it should be closer to the low 30s. I think I went over and used a bunch of data sometimes that I could have avoided. But in any case, when you land in Japan or you land in Thailand, it just says, hey, welcome to this country. Rates are the same, everything works. You've got text messages, internet, it's all good to go right there on your phone. So really awesome. Happy with that one. Then on travel, this is kind of net. Like there's some stuff that I used on points and it doesn't show up on here. But I spent $573 on travel. I also used like $300 to sort of subsidize my parents' ticket to come visit, so I was grateful to be able to do that. But yeah, so my parents came out to visit in October. We hadn't seen each other in 3 years, since July of 2019. And yeah, that was great. And then following that, I booked my ticket for this year. I'll be going out to Bangkok and then also to Osaka and then Okinawa in May. So really looking forward to seeing them and looking forward to that trip. All right, then we've got utilities, which is basically my electricity. Is that it? I think it's just electricity, basically. Yeah, so I spent $979, very much in line with my budget of $900. I guess I could be a little bit stricter about the temperature I keep the apartment in, like in the winter or in the summer, a little bit warmer in the former, cooler in the former and warmer in the latter, but whatever, you know, it's okay. So yeah, overall, again, for the non-rent spending, I did a total of $19,380. And my budget for those non-rent categories was a total of $13,452. So yeah, we went a bit over, but again, some of these things aren't recurring. So I feel like I'm pretty good shape for the budget here for 2023. And I probably don't need to make any major adjustments, except if I'm planning on hosting more people and having more fun, I should probably bump that entertainment budget up. I don't know that there's anything here that I really feel like I need to cut. This is quite comfortable and my spending rate is still where I want it to be. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Although, you know, definitely there's been some lifestyle inflation compared to what I was spending back in 2020, for instance. So that's all right. I'm happy, like all my financial goals are still being met. And I think that's the main thing, right? Because I pay myself first, I've set all of my investments and savings and all that stuff to happen automatically. And then I just work with whatever's left over in my checking account. Then I know for sure that I'm going to be meeting my goals. And then also having, you know, that safety net of having put those goals in place a long time ago really takes a lot of the stress out, so that when unexpected things come up, like, you know, my medical problems or the medical problems with Max, then that's not something that I have to worry about on top of the issue itself. You know, the finance part of it is a lot, the worry there is a lot duller or almost not even there. And so that's really nice. So yeah, how did you do with your spending for 2022? What's your budget looking like for 2023? Are you making tweaks? You know, do you do something like this where you do an annual review? I find it really helpful just to kind of recalibrate, get my head back in the game and start off the year on a good note. Let us know in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Hope you have a wonderful year here in 2023. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.